Good morning, students. Today we will continue with the same chapter, reproduction in plants, seed and fruit formation. Depending on the type of plant, the mature ovary may form a juicy flesh fruit. For example, apple, mango, plum or blueberry. If you look at the ovary, okay, that is the one that forms a fruit. Either it may be fleshy or it may be dry. The one in which it is fleshy is mango, apple, plum, blueberry and peach. There are many more. Sometimes it may also develop into a dry fruit. Sometimes the ovary may be dry. Example, almond. Other parts of the flower may also take part in the formation of the fruit. Okay, sometimes even other parts of the flower is incorporated in the formation of a fruit. For example, a pome. For example, apple. Okay, it is a fleshy fruit. It is composed of ovary along with other flower parts, that is including the petals, sepals and receptacle. That is the base of the flower. Apart from the ovary, it also includes petals, sepals and receptacle. Receptacle is the base of the flower. So it is not always that the fruit is made up of just ovary. Other parts of the flower may also be incorporated in the formation of the fruit. Dispersal of seeds. Once the seeds and the fruits are formed by fertilization, they need to be dispersed or spread in the environment. Once the seeds and fruits are formed, especially the seeds have to be scattered or dispersed. When the seed finds a suitable environment, it will give rise to a new plant. See, once a seed falls on a suitable environment, when it gets all the right condition, it will start germinating. Significance of seed dispersal means importance of seed dispersal. Spreading seeds is important for the healthy survival of new plants. If the seeds are not dispersed far and wide, it will lead to the overcrowding near the parent plant. This would result in competition for food, space and sunlight between the new plantlet and the parent plant, deterring their growth. Now what do I mean by this? Suppose a plant is there. It is all the seeds are dispersed closer to the parent plant. Then what happens? All the seeds, once they start germinating, they will fight with each other for the food, space and sunlight. So not all the plantlets will grow. Several or many of them will die. That's why it is important for the seeds to be dispersed. How can the seeds be dispersed, or the mechanism of dispersal? One is by wind. Seeds that are usually dispersed by by wind, they have wings or a parachute-like structure, or tufts of hair are present. Now, these help them to sail with a light breeze so that they can easily be flown away by the light breeze and travel a greater distance away from the parent plant. So these are the structures that help in the easy dispersal: wings, parachutes and tufts of hair in case of wind dispersal. Example, the seeds of cotton are found in the ball of cotton hair. See, animal dispersal can take place by two ways. One is there are hook seeds. Now these seeds have got hook-like structure and they adhere to the animals. And finally they detach from the animals and they fall onto the soil and they start growing. The other way is by means of the fleshy seeds. Now seeds enclosed in fleshy fruits are dispersed to the feces of an animal after the fruit passes through its digestive system. Example, monkeys, parrots, pigeon. Now the fruits are consumed by the animals. Fleshy fruits are consumed and then they are digested and only the seed is eliminated out. Next, moving on to the water dispersal. Seeds dispersed by water like those of coconut typically have the capacity to float in water. So usually the seeds that are dispersed by water, they are light so that they can float in water. Even lotus, they have a spongy fruit part. So this is the receptacle or the spongy fruit part. Okay, it helps it to flow. Inside this there are seeds, and it helps it, and this particular modification helps it to float and disperse its seed. Bursting open of fruits. Some fruits have the ability to disperse their seeds when they burst open. So as soon few fruits have the ability to burst open. When they burst open, they disperse their seed, so thereby scattering the seeds away from the parent plant as in balsam. So the seeds are scattered away from the parent plant. Next, moving on to the germination of seeds. Now, if you look at the structure of seed, it has got the presence of seed coat. Now, I break open the seed coat and I find cotyledons. There are 2 cotyledons, and inside the cotyledon, I have a structure called as embryo. Now, if I enlarge the embryo, this small portion that is attached is known as a radicle. This is embryonic root, or it forms a future root system in the adult plant. Plumule is an embryonic shoot. This one gives rise to the shoot system in a adult plant. Okay, and cotyledon has got lot of reserve food material also. The seed of a plant is a dormant or resting phase of the plant. So seed is usually dormant, or it is a resting phase. Only if it gets right conditions, it will germinate. Seed also contains enzymes that are necessary to initiate the process of germination. So seeds have got the presence of enzyme that initiate or that start the process of germination. Seeds of different plants have varied requirement for germination. So different plants have different requirements. So basic requirements includes temperature, moisture and oxygen. When these conditions are met, it will start germinating. See, germination. What is the first requirement which activates the enzymes in the seed? So enzymes are activated in the seed in the presence of water. The enzyme digests food stored in the cotyledon. So then the digested food is used by the radicle and plumule for growth. I had told you previously, cotyledon has got reserve food material and it is digested by the enzyme, and this digested food is utilized by the embryonic root and embryonic shoot for the growth. The radicle grows first and emerges out of the seed because it has to attach itself to the soil. That's why we see radicle grows first. It grows into the soil, then anchors the plant and becomes the root, absorbing water and minerals required for further growth. So what happens? First the root radicle comes out, it anchors the plant and absorbs the necessary water and minerals for further growth and development. Then the plumule, that is embryonic shoot, then emerges and grows out of the soil upwards. The shoot is moving upwards, whereas a root grows downwards. Gradually the plumule bears the leaves and starts to photosynthesize. So plumule is the one that gives rise to shoot system. It forms a leaf and starts to photosynthesize. It is now a young plantlet. Now since it can synthesize its own food, now the cotyledon has no role to play. Now the food in the cotyledon is consumed by the radicle and the plumule. Once that is consumed, slowly the leaves are formed, root system is formed first, then the shoot system is formed, then it can photosynthesize and it can prepare its own food.